What's up, Night Owls? Coach J back in the building for another edition of Straight Jabs. So we're going to be talking to one of our guests for the night. We got Skyzoo coming in. Let's see if you can get him on. So if you don't know about Skyzoo, he's as an MC from Brooklyn. Definitely one of the underground dope MCs that I've been listening to for quite a while. So get a chance to chat with him and just chop it up, talk about what he's got going on. What new music, how's pandemic life. As an artist, I can imagine, especially an independent artist who runs his own thing, I can imagine there's a lot that he has to offer in terms of challenges and things like that. So just interested to see his perspective, and hopefully we can get him on tonight. We did communicate, so we did have some scheduling issues. Initially we were supposed to go in at 9, but had some problems, but we'll get it going. So in the meantime, hey, what's up, brother?
Peace, you there?
Yep, I'm here. You hear me
Okay.
good?
Yeah, you good. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for joining me, man. I know we've been chatting for a while, trying to get up. I know your schedule's tight and everything, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
just wanted to say thank you, man. As a fan first, I'm glad to have you. And
Well, thank you, bro.
we've met. We actually met it quite a few times because I was in the music game for a little while. So we crossed paths, way back when. I remember the mixtapes and the outside of the clubs and stuff down at
Nice.
I want to say the Bowery. I want to go back that far.
That goes way back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes way back.
Yeah. So, me
Word
and
up.
my crew, we were always fans of that, like this is what New York rap should sound like, so ever
Okay.
since then, just always supported. So whenever something came out, I was always there, downloading it, whatever I could do to hear it. So
Yeah. Nah, well, thank you, man. The fact that you go back that far and that you've been tuned in all this time, I appreciate it, man, 100%. So much love to you indeed before it go any further.
thank you, man. So yeah, so tell me about, I guess right now we all in this quarantine pandemic, you know, world. So how's that been like for you, being in the music business? So I know it's different for for a person who's, maybe
Yeah,
working.
yeah, well, first off, thank God, my family and I, we've all been safe. Like everybody in my house has been safe. You know what I mean? We haven't really had any situations. I've had some family, like cousins out of town, that I lost due to the Rona and all that. But,
Yeah.
everybody like directly in the crib, like my Wiz and my son and like we're all good. You know what I'm saying? Thank God. Just been quarantining, just been, laying low and trying to do the right things, masked up
Mm.
everywhere, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff. And for me, as far as business, being an artist, being a musician, a lot of
Mm.
what we do is on the road. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of what we do is you make the music and then you go out and pump it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
when you drop and you can't go out and hit the road and run around, it's a different type of thing. Normally I would drop a project like the Bluest Note that I dropped in 2020 or Milestones that I
Mm.
dropped in 2020, and I would hit the road. I
Yeah.
was on the road 2019 with Retropolitan, and I had plans for some Europe stuff and some South Africa stuff and Japan stuff. All this stuff was already booked, like contracts booked, everything was booked for 2020, and then boom, shut down. So it's different, but the safety and health and all that is first and most important, which is great. Thank God we've been good on my side, like I said. But I've been lucky enough, and more than lucky, just blessed, that financially my house hasn't felt the effects of it. And I know a lot of people can't say that. And, I feel for those situations for sure. I don't say that lightly. It's a blessing on my end to be able to be in that position where it's like, yo, we've been all right. Like, we haven't felt any effects of it. But I know so many people out there are in different boats, and you pray for all those people. But moral of the story, not to make a long story longer, we've been all right, man. I'm ready to hit the road. You know what I mean? But who knows when that's gonna be? You know what I mean? Who knows when that's gonna be again?
Yeah, right. So you got some new projects coming up too. So I see some collabs with Talib and some other things. So you got anything new on the table?
The Kweli joint, that's off his album. He's been working on the album, and he asked me, it was last year at some point to get on a record. So I did a record with him, and then he was in town. He was like, yo, man, let's shoot the video. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's what the video and pictures and all that was. So that's his joint off his album coming up. But my album coming out, I just turned it in. I just wrapped it up last week. So I don't have a date yet, because now it's with the distributor and lining up, the rollout plan that I'm putting together and how I want to promote it and market it. So I don't have the date yet, but I'm hoping in a month or two, like early spring, you know what I mean? You want to have the rollout right.
Right.
We live in a climate where you can kind of move the way you want, but you want to still move the right way to get the most out of a project. You know what I mean? Working on that now. And as soon as I have the date, I'll put it out there for sure. But all the brilliant things, I've been talking about it for a year now, if not more, you know what I mean? So all the brilliant things is coming. It's finally done. It's the longest I ever took to make an album, and it's on the way.
Okay, cool. Oh, so that's the title, all the brilliant things.
Yep, all the brilliant things,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important, like you said, the rollout, especially in this climate where, most everything is digital. So, having the right attention is important right in the beginning, so that people can, can spread that like a virus the right way, because sometimes it can go under the table, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to, put so much into something, and then, we live in a climate, man, where it's here today, gone today. I mean, I've dropped records and had people be like, yo, I got the new joint, man. It just came out. I got it, man. Yo, it's crazy. Yo, when you dropping another one? And I'm like, yo, I just dropped. Like, you just got it yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not dropping no time soon. Like, I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Like, it's not dropping I just dropped 24 hours ago. So, that's the world we live in. You know what I mean? We
it's microwave, instead of home cooking,
everything is quick, you know what I mean? So you gotta live in that world, because that's the climate we in. You gotta respect it, and you gotta adapt to that environment, but at the same time you gotta still do things that make sense and find that balance. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, because people are binge listening just as much as they binge watching Netflix, right? So
100%.
They go in, their album is done, they listen to it straight up, and then they want more. For me.
Yeah, not to cut you off. This era is I think they said this is the most music has ever been consumed.
Yes.
Ever in the history of mankind. But it's the least it's ever been purchased. You know what I mean? So but it was the most it's ever been consumed. Like, there's never been people listening to, I mean, people got access to, thousands and thousands and thousands of songs on deck. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just the ones that they know about. So much that they don't even know about still that's out there. And, it's insane the amount of music that takes up space on the internet and in the world and all that. So, you just gotta make it right. You know what I mean?
Right. It starts with the iPod. That's where it really changed it. Once you was able to carry 10,000 songs in your pocket.
10,000 songs. It started with 1,000. It was like 1,000 songs, and then it turned into 10. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So, as an artist, where do you see the music business going? Because, you're a business person. You're an entrepreneur as well as an artist. Yeah. So you see it from two sides of the coin. You see it from the performer, the creator, and then also from the business perspective, where you have to look at the bottom line. How trends are changing in the business aspect of it. So where do you see it going in the next 10, 15, 20 years? What does music play in people's lives?
Oh man, if I could see that far in it, I'd be Elon Musk. You know what I mean? I'd be, whipping up some of those bags. But nah, I think in the immediate future, it's just more about artist empowerment,
Hmm.
artist ownership, us owning everything, like owning your masters and your rollout and how you put your thing together and really having as much say so over your work as possible. On the
Hmm.
flip side, though, a lot of artists talk about owning, your masters and owning your situation and all that stuff
Hmm.
is incredible. Like that's what you fight for. That's what people like Sam Cooke died for. You know what I mean? Like all that
Hmm.
stuff is extremely important. But with that comes great responsibility. So
Hmm.
as an artist, if you want to own everything, you got to be willing to put in the work that warrants you owning everything. That means you're not just an artist anymore. Like you said, you're a businessman. I've been a businessman for a very long time now. Like I haven't had a manager in like 7 years, 8 years. I've been managing myself since like 2013. So
Okay.
um, it comes great responsibility. So like I may be in the booth recording, and while I'm reading off my phone because I write everything on the phone,
Hmm.
the phone will start ringing, and it's my PR rep who has to book a meeting or has to book something like what we doing, like an interview or sit down, whatever. Or it might
Yeah.
be the distributor talking about the dates that we looking out that we looking at for the project, or it might be my homegirl who does all my graphic arts and she's calling about the edits on the artwork, and I'm in the
Hmm.
middle of recording.
Recording the
Normally, if you
artist
got a
side.
minute, yeah.
Hmm.
Normally, if you got a manager, you got you're on a major label or whatever it may be, you have somebody handling all that. And all you got to do is go in the booth and work. So, but you got to wear multiple hats in this
Hmm.
climate. That's the moral of that story. Like that was the example of all that. Like you got to wear multiple hats. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it having the ownership and the empowerment and all that stuff is incredible, and it's what we all fight for. But just know when you calling for that, when you want that, a lot of responsibility comes with it.
Right.
So
I think that's where you could spread yourself thin, with the wrong, with, whoever is the wrong person for that job. Because some people
yeah,
want
you
that,
gotta be
you
able
know,
to wear that hat, man. You gotta your
yeah,
shoulders gotta be strong enough to support that,
right.
because you're worried about too much of this and not enough of that, and then it shows. You gotta
Right.
be able to balance how thin you spread yourself, because you are gonna spread yourself thin. It's just
Hmm.
not wanting to spread yourself too thin, because
Right.
I I make the music. I pick the beats. I write everything. I put the video shoots together. A lot of times I write the treatments to the videos. I handle all the artwork. I book all the photo shoots. I pick all the photo shoot stuff, and I pick the photographers. I do all the styling. I do everything. Like I get the locations for the videos. I talk to the people who own certain spots as far as the videos and where we're going to shoot at, or photo shoots and where we're going to shoot, and paying
Hmm.
them and licensing and booking rehearsal time and putting the band together and talking with club promoters, before the Rona, talking with
Hmm.
club promoters and talking with venues and putting tours together. All that's me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so
That's a lot of
yeah,
work. That's a lot
I'm
of work.
definitely gonna own everything at that point. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna own
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about the pandemic. So I'm thinking life in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
or wherever you might be, right?
Hmm.
What do you miss the most from the pandemic? Where would you like to be, like when you're not in the house?
Yeah, I mean
Because
normalcy
you got
more than
favorite
anything.
spots. Hmm.
Normalcy more than anything. You know what I mean? Like normalcy.
Yeah.
Just us being normal outside of the music, like never mind the music, just the world and us being normal, being able to go to the store without a mask and or because I don't
Hmm.
play that game. Like I wear the mask everywhere, you know what I mean? But
Right.
just being able to go to the store without the mask and the sanitizer, you just miss normalcy. But as far as actual locations, I mean, you know, I love being on the road. I love being able
Hmm.
to see the world, being able to see the world and perform and all that is a beautiful thing. I mean, I've had times where I've been on the road, I'll be in Australia just walking down the street with my headphones on, just
Hmm.
people watching almost, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
just
Yeah.
enjoying their walk
Enjoying
of
it. Yeah.
life. And I may do that in Johannesburg. I may do that in Tokyo. I may do that in Berlin and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
miss that type of stuff. If we going outside of everything, you miss that type of stuff for sure.
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to go and perform?
London and Johannesburg. Those are my two favorite places,
Mhm.
musically or otherwise, outside of New York City. London
Yeah.
and Johannesburg, absolutely.
Right. Do you notice that there's a different appreciation for hip hop? in
Oh,
different
100%.
markets?
100%. Yeah,
Mm.
overseas it's way more vast,
Yeah.
overseas. I think in America, and as much as we have fans here and everybody that's on the chat right now, shout out to everybody on the chat.
Hmm.
Y'all all showing love, and there's tons of people like y'all. But I think the difference is there's so many people in America that, I mean, hip hop came from here, so we're
Yeah.
kind of spoiled. It's hip hop's like breathing. We take it for
Right.
granted. It's like,
That's true.
we breathing, big deal. You don't realize you breathing. You wake up and you check your phone for who hit you overnight. You don't
Hmm.
be like, yo, I'm breathing. Over there, they like, yo, we're breathing. That when it comes to
Right.
hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, exactly.
over there, it's just like hip hop is everything. The music
Right.
is everything to them because it's not from there. So they're still basking in it, and they're still like really, really, really enjoying it. And
Hmm.
we're very privileged and spoiled in that aspect when it comes to hip hop. So to get to your question, when you go over there, it's definitely a different vibe. I've
Hmm.
had shows in the States that have been insanity. My shows are always dope. It's always a great time. I've had shows that have been ridiculous, off the wall, banging. But man, overseas, they go for it overseas. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah.
places like Berlin, you know, um, South Africa is always great. Man, Russia is like top. Like, I don't know if anybody else tops Russia.
Oh
Like,
wow. I wouldn't have picked
Russia's
that.
out of
I wouldn't
control,
have.
out of control, man. Like the way they come out, you're never
Hmm.
gonna have a bad show. They're always gonna be packed wall to wall. They're gonna be banging on the stage, going crazy. I've done shows in Russia where they ask you to sign their phone, and you be like, "You want me to sign the back of your phone?" They go, "Nah, the front." And I'm like, "How you gonna see on your phone?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
phone froze, but I can't. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I couldn't see you for a
Okay.
while.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
But
It was
yeah,
me.
Russia is live though, man. Russia is live. Poland is pretty live.
Hmm.
London is always live. Russia's out of control though. I can't say
Hmm.
that enough.
Wow, that's crazy. Because I had a few people in Sweden and Australia. Because I know,
Hmm.
they definitely got a scene in both. My
There
connection
you
was
go.
was stolen. Yeah, I was saying that
Yeah,
they
it's
um
kicking in
they
and
actually
out.
go back. They go back and listen to a lot of the old music and really appreciate. They look at it like a history lesson almost.
Yeah,
And they really study the music. And a lot of the guys were actually imitating, and being like doing covers of the music. Like
hmm
you see that in rock music, but I seen that in hip hop from the guys in Sweden. They were doing actual cover, like people would cover the music like they would. I was like, I
yeah,
found that very interesting because you would never do that here. No one would cover
right.
music of hip hop artists. You do it in rock and pop and
Yeah,
other
it wouldn't
stuff,
be
but
it wouldn't be appreciated the same. And I get it because if you do a cover in any other genre, you're putting your
mm-hmm,
twist on it as far as your voice. So if Usher covers a Stevie Wonder song,
mm-hmm,
you got Usher's voice with Stevie Wonder's words and music and just bringing his dynamic. But in hip hop, you're just reciting, a Skyzoo record or reciting
mm-hmm.
Nas record or whoever. So I get it. I get why it's a little different. It's a
Yeah,
different element to it. But that's dope that they're able to pull that off over there.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So talk to me your favorite top five favorite artists. You might have done this a million times, so you probably like it's a corny
Oh man.
question, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in no particular order, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Most Def, and I would say like there's a Black Thought, Andre 3000 kind of tie over there.
hmm
You know what I mean? For that
cool,
fifth
cool.
spot. But again, not really in no order. You know what I mean? As long as those guys is at the table, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah,
But then there's
yeah.
so many guys that like you got Kweli who's right there. You got there's so many people. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy. Five is
Yeah,
always hard to do.
that's true. Yeah, I seen somebody put Rakim, so I was thinking myself Rakim being in there. So
Of course. I
yes,
mean,
yeah.
without Rakim, there's no Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right,
without
exactly.
Nas, there's no me. So it's a
Right,
domino effect. You know what I mean?
right. So what do you think about the current state of hip hop? Like, what do you, obviously based on what your choices of top artists, obviously there's a certain era feel, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But what do you think? Where do you think hip hop is going? Do you like where it's going? Does it matter at all to you? You know?
Yeah. I think it's in a good space because of the options that we have, right? Like you're always
Mm-hmm.
going to have what's going on the radio. You're always going to have what people look at as, not real hip hop and kind of whatever, whatever. Like that's just the way it goes. But
Mm-hmm.
um, the difference is back in the day, there weren't as many options as far as outlets to get
Mm-hmm.
familiar with everything that wasn't on the radio and everything that you weren't into. You know what I mean? So,
True.
um, you know, now we live in a climate where if you don't like what's on the radio, no problem. You don't like what's on TV, no problem. There's the internet. There's, digging through all types of, crates. And there's so much music that gets moved around on word of mouth. There's
Mm-hmm.
so much music that gets moved around on word of mouth that may never hit the radio. I'm an
Right.
artist who I've been on the radio here and there. I've been on TV here and there, but I'm not a artist that's on the radio all day. I'm not an artist that's on TV all day. Like, not
Mm-hmm.
at all. But at the same time, I live and move as if I was on the radio all day. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And that's because of the cult following, that I've been able to have. That's
Right.
because of the people that I've been able to bring into it, and that's because of the lives I've been able to touch. And being an independent artist who lives more like a major and moves more like a major and rubs shoulders with major label artists, but I'm never really on the radio. I'm never really on TV, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
connected to all those people, and that's because I've been able to do what I do musically, regardless of all that. So
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people that have similar stories. There's so many artists that got similar stories that sell out shows. I mean, you saw how many people turned out when Doom passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many people that came out for that was going crazy. Doom was never on the radio. You know what
I
I mean?
never.
But
Yeah.
so
Never.
that shows you the power of word of mouth and the internet and all that.
Mm-hmm. True. So what do you think about the duos in hip hop? So, Outkast,
Hmm.
8 Ball, MJG. Who's your top duos? Because I said artists, but I've seen a lot of
Oh
solos.
man,
So
that's
what about
that's a
your
wild
groups
question.
and duos?
If
Got to get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, if we just talking duos, man, definitely Mobb Deep, definitely
Mm-hmm.
EPMD, definitely Outkast. So many, man. I'm gonna forget people, and people gonna be like, "Yo, you ain't say so and so. You ain't say so and so." Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah, I see them in the comments coming now.
you know what I
They
mean.
already going off.
Forgive the mind, not the heart. But man, I mean, those guys for sure. I mean, you could say Ray and Ghost. They wasn't really a group. They just collabed a lot. But you could say
Mhm.
them. But then you could say that for Red and Meth, and you could say that for me and my bro Torre. You know what I mean?
True,
And,
true.
obviously
Barrel
Black
Brothers, yeah.
Star, Mos and
Mhm.
Kweli. Those are some of my favorites ever. So obviously Black Star. There's so many people, man. As far as groups, I mean, the Lox is my favorite group of all time. So I
Mhm.
leave it there when it comes to groups. I mean, there's a ton of groups that I love, but the Lox is the creme de la creme for me.
True, true. So who would you want to collab with that you haven't collabed with?
Oh man, I've collabed with so many people, man. It feels like the list is getting shorter and shorter. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to producers, the list gets shorter and shorter. I don't know, man. I would love to work with Madlib. He's one of the
Oh,
few that I haven't done nothing with yet.
that would be dope.
Yeah, I
That
would
would be
love
dope.
to work with we talking artists and producers, man. I don't know. I mean, Pharrell would be great because it would just be a different musical vibe that I could definitely get into. I'm a
Mhm.
jazz head, so anything jazz related is going to be great.
For sure.
My palette is all over the place.
Hmm.
I'm into so many different things musically, but it all ties together with a certain commonality. So like I'm my palette is all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I'm not sure if you did or didn't because you correct me if I missed them, but I'd say Jazzy Jeff,
Right. I
um,
never got with Jeff. Somebody say Q-Tip. I definitely want to work with Q-Tip
Q-Tip.
for
That
sure.
was gonna be my next one. Yep, Q-Tip.
Yeah.
And I'm missing somebody else I had in mind because I already had this, in my mind to ask, but that would be, somebody, the two that I had on top of my head. So
Yeah,
that would be a dope collab for you.
definitely. I see somebody said Lupe. Yeah, Lou is my bro, so definitely
Mhm.
Lupe. I think that's overdue. People know what he does and they know what I do, so that would be crazy. There's a lot. There's definitely a lot. If you sit there all day, there's definitely a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Marley, Diamond D, they
I
naming
was
some
just
names
with
right now.
Diamond. Diamond did the Quali joint that I'm on. But I work with Diamond a couple times, like on his albums. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, okay.
on, it'll be so he did an album a couple years ago that I'm on. It was me, Quali, and Elzai. And then this new album that Quali got, Diamond did it, and
Mhm.
he's on that. So yeah.
Cool, cool. All right. So, what's your favorite meal? Right? What do you like to eat? Because I'm a boxing trainer outside of my many endeavors,
Right,
in the
right.
world. So, fitness and food and all that is a big part of what, I preach to my people and all that. So,
Yeah.
what's your favorite meal?
I'm a soul food guy, man. I'm from New York, but I got Southern roots. My whole family is from the South, so I'm a soul food guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm a
For
soul food guy.
anything in
But
particular?
the typical fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, black eyed peas, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't eat beef or pork. Like I haven't eaten beef or pork in 20 22 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't eat beef or
Cool.
pork.
So as far as the South, where's your family from? Like, where's the main
Oh,
destination
South
or
Carolina.
roots?
South
Okay. Okay.
Carolina, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Mine's is Memphis. That's where my
Okay,
family's
word.
from.
You see my
Yeah.
boy in the back.
No, you know what? I was about to bring that up too.
There you
Because
go.
got to get into sports, right? So that's
Yeah,
that's next on the list. So I know you're a big Hardaway fan. I had many jerseys of that same kind right there. I had
yeah.
the alternate blue.
I got
So we used
that.
to,
I got the
you
black. I
know,
got them all. That's my guy
yeah.
right there.
So big fan.
Yeah.
So what's your teams? Obviously, I'm seeing a new NY hat on,
Oh,
so
you know
I'm
it's the
assuming the
Knicks.
Knicks is
Even
going
though
to
that's my boy, you know it's the Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
be.
Like it's the Knicks all day. Yeah, I'm a New York guy when it comes to the teams. You know what I mean? Outside of the Nets, but it's
Mhm.
the Knicks and the Giants and Yankees and Mets and all that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
true, true.
But yeah, Penny's awesome, man. He actually signed that in front of me. All my joints that I have, I got them all over the wall. They're all
Hmm.
signed, and like they're all signed by the actual athlete in front of me. You know what I mean? Like they're all
Oh, cool.
my peoples in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Yeah,
like I got Melo. Everybody know Melo is my man. Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford's my man. A lot of that type of stuff. Curtis
yeah,
Granderson is the homie. So a lot of people that I know personally, I'm able to have them all over the wall, and it's dope, man. The penny joint was cool though, man. My man Gerald Brown. He has a show on Sirius NBA Radio every
hmm,
Saturday afternoon. I think 1 o'clock. Him and Rick Mahorn. So Gerald is my man. So my man Daytwan from Vibe, and he actually created King Magazine and all that.
hmm.
Um, Daytwan put me on to Gerald. Gerald's the homie. Gerald used to do the show with Penny, so we got
Oh,
cool. And then
that's
I
what's
was
up.
doing the Penny series freestyles, years back, and Gerald put Penny on to them, and Penny was like, "Yo, yeah, I rock with Money. Money's dope. Money's super dope." So then Gerald hit me and was like, "Yo, would you want to meet Penny?" And I was like, "What? Absolutely." This was years ago. This was like 7, 8 years ago. I was like, "Absolutely." Like what? Like the world stopped. You know what I mean? Like whatever I'm doing
Right.
that day is dead. Like this was my MJ, man. Like I'm an '80s baby. I ran around in the '90s, so this was my MJ.
Yeah,
You know what I
same
mean?
here.
So
Same here.
yeah, so I met Penny, and we went to Amy Roof's for lunch, and yeah, we hung out the whole day. I was with Penny for like 8 hours, man. It was great. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice,
and
nice.
he tagged the joint for me, man. I remember I had a marker with me, and the marker didn't work, so I was
Hmm.
like, oh man, I was like, yo, like I gotta, yo, I can't let this moment go. He was like, nah, we gonna get it, and we walked to like CVS, like 5 blocks away in Harlem. And Penny bought like $20 worth of markers just to make sure one of them worked. He was like, "Yo, one of these is gonna work." You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna make sure we take care of you, bro. And he bought like
That's
twenty
what's up.
dollars worth of Sharpies, and he tagged it up and all that. And we hung out the rest of the day, and just told me it was ill because he was telling me about the Magic days, and then he was asking me about writing and ghost writing and MCing and touring. So it was almost like we was interviewing each other. He was like, "Yo, so
Interview
how
each
is it
other.
that
Yeah.
you could do what you do?" And I was like, "Bro, how is it you do what you do?" You know what I mean? So like, it
Right.
was cool though, man. That was good vibes.
Well, two masters of their craft talking about their craft, right? You know, that's
Thank you,
kind of
man.
how it
Thank you.
goes, right?
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And you know, his career, you know, was kind of sad too because he had everything going his way, but the injury just kind of just it halted him, you know, because I feel like he
Yeah.
would have been, you know, he would have been where maybe Kobe was, you know, was at, you know, when he retired, like at that legend, like almost Jordan status. If he
Yeah,
had a full,
the injuries hit him hard, man. But you
yeah,
know, I think his impact was so real. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We having conversation on here and everybody in the comments is like, yo, Penny, Penny, Penny. Like his
yeah,
impact was so real. Like, I mean, they selling Penny sneakers now. Penny was the biggest Nike before Bron and Kobe and all that.
mm-hmm,
Penny was the biggest Nike after Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
nobody had ever got close to Jordan. Penny's the only sneaker Jordan ever played in that wasn't a Jordan. You
mm-hmm,
know, like Jordan played one game in a pair of pennies against Penny, and he did that out of respect. You know what I mean? You
respect,
can
yeah,
YouTube that, you can Google that. He did that out of respect. Like, nah, money, you got it. Like, you the next guy. So he
right,
wore a pair of pennies against Jordan. Never did that. He don't do
yeah,
that. You know, Mike, he
yeah,
don't do that. So Penny was it. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm, yeah, yeah. All right, so talk to me about other sports you went to. So you already, I'm in the boxing, right? Mixed martial
Yeah.
arts. So do you
Yep.
follow either one of those sports
For
when you
sure.
went to
Not
that?
really mixed martial arts, but boxing for sure. You know what I mean? I'm a Tyson guy 100% because I'm from
Hmm.
Brooklyn. So I'm
Yeah,
like Tyson is everything. I know Muhammad is the greatest, obviously, and I love Ali, of course. But,
yeah,
as far as a favorite, like, Mike is my guy. Like, you know what
yeah,
I mean? Because
yeah. Especially
Brooklyn is
guys in
just,
our era. Yeah,
yeah, like we
Tyson was
saw that.
our type. He was our Ali.
He was
For
Ali. Like we saw
yeah,
it. You know what I mean? We was
hmm,
we was young. I know I was like a little kid when Mike was running around in his 80s run and then the
yeah,
90s run when he was still crushing, but then it kind of started to veer off a little bit. I was older, but
hmm,
his 80s run, I mean, he was hitting people in 30 seconds, man. Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
was it was it was a joke at that point. It was like, yo, you can't get up to go to the bathroom because like it'll be over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
You bought that
nobody,
pay per view once it came on main event.
nobody
You
did that.
nobody
Yeah.
left.
No,
You couldn't
no, and
leave.
nobody did that, and nobody did it since. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
Mike was that guy. There's a ton of them. Obviously Floyd is great. This new kid is dope. Ryan Garcia, I think.
Ryan Garcia. Yeah.
He's
Yep.
dope. He's dope.
Yeah.
I like what's my man name? Oh man, Brown Bomber kid.
Oh, Deontay Wilder.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm bugging. I shouted him out on the record and all that. I'm bugging. Yeah,
Yeah.
Deontay is super dope. Um,
Yeah.
I like Duke from London. He's dope too. He shouldn't have
Hmm.
took that L against that kid. Was that like
Yeah.
2 years ago? But he's dope. You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anthony Joshua. He
Yes,
lost
yes, yes.
Andy
Anthony Joshua.
Ruiz. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. But Duke put the work in, so I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
He got that
yeah,
one back. So he
yeah,
showed like, listen,
yeah.
I could still get the same guy that beat me. I could beat him.
Right.
He shouldn't have lost that in the first place, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
happens.
yeah. Ryan Garcia kid looked nice, man. He was calling out. He was calling out son. What's son name?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
bugging, man.
Javon.
Javante,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
you. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. He
Javante
was
Davis.
calling
Yeah.
son out. He was calling son out crazy. I was like, yo, that kid is nice. I don't know, but I like Ryan Garcia. He be working though.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody put in the comments Shakur Stevenson. I'm from Jersey, so he's from
There you
Newark.
go.
So I'm right across the water in Jersey City. So gotta
Okay, word up.
represent. So Shakur's right in that mix too. So Ryan better start talking about Shakur too, because he coming for
Yeah,
him. So
yeah. We go. Yeah, I like that. That Ryan kid is alright, man. He got on my radar like a month ago. I was like, this kid is alright. So
mhm.
yeah, I like him. He talk a little bit, but he look like he know what he's doing.
Yeah, he got that following. He got the social media on lock. So
Right.
he gonna get the stars
Yeah.
behind him and everything. So
Yeah.
all right, so let's get heavy for a little bit. So let's talk about what's going on in the black community, the things that's been happening, the police brutality, Black Lives Matter. It's so much we can unpack, and we don't necessarily have to do all that. It's more
Yeah.
about just getting our feelings out. I feel like we all need therapy, a little bit of therapy. We all need to smash something sometimes.
Right.
So what's your initial thoughts on just what's been going on for the last, year, 2 years, even long, forever for that
Yeah, I
matter,
mean,
right?
forever, really. You know what I mean? It's a situation where we haven't nothing's really been gained from it. I feel like the only thing they let us have as black people was money, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
the money was to quiet us up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
Right,
well, we give them some paper and they feel like they got something. And granted,
right.
we all need that, and that's a part of why we're here, but it's not the only reason we're here. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot has not changed, you know, and we have to continue to push forward on how to make that change. And, you know, so far, no one's really had the definitive answer. You know, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
so much gray area there. There's no black and white answer, you know, no pun intended with black and white, but, you know, there's so much gray area there, you know, and it's we just still have so much work to do, you know, but it was dope
Mm-hmm.
in 2020 seeing how many people started to really stand up and how reminiscent it was of the 60s and 70s. And, you know, I'm big on the Panther Party. Like, I grew up in a Panther house. You know what I mean? I grew up
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, my pops was on that. He's not a Panther, but he was on that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like,
That same vibe,
he was
right?
on
Yeah.
that. You know, all
Mm-hmm.
black, everything. Every book ever made was in my house when I was a little kid. So I grew up in a Panther household, like for that type of time. So that's what I'm on. You know, like
Yeah, right.
I'm Fred Hamptoned out. I'm, you know, that's what I'm on. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
just knowing what all that is, and my job is to instill that in my son moving forward. He's only 3, but
Mm-hmm.
as he gets older, just instilling that in him because it's, you know, in the words of the great prodigy, man, it's a war going on outside. No black man is safe from. You know, we're gonna
Right.
edit the words a little bit. No black man is safe from. Like, you know, it's a wild time, you know, and like I
Right.
said, they let us have some paper to keep us quiet, you know, and we turned it into more than they thought we would. So I know they
Mm-hmm.
looking at us like, damn, like they really turned this into something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It's like you know, it's kind of like when, you know, Bodie had the corner by himself and Marlo was like, hey, I made a little something out this corner, huh? You know, I'm a wire
Right.
guy, so I take everything back to the wire. But like, you
Yeah.
know, it's like, yo, they looking at us like, damn, they don't really turned this into something. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
you know, they can't take the paper back now. We don't figure out how to get too much of it on our own, but they'll never do that again with us. So it's really just about us using our power and the power that we don't even really realize that we have. And that's what, a lot of what this album is about. Um, my new album's about gentrification and
Mm-hmm.
culture vulturing and being told who we are by people who aren't us as if they know
Mm-hmm.
us better than we know ourselves. You know what I mean? Like
That's so true. That's so true, bro.
that's what my new album is about. Like that's the concept of my new album. So I talk about shit like this all over the new album. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I talk about shit like this all over the new album. And you know, it's a reality. And you'll hear my views on it even more on it because
Mm-hmm.
I really go there on some things, you know, talking about it, not beating in the head or beating the drum too long, but really making it make sense for those who may not be into these conversations. Like, how can we make this
Mm-hmm.
conversation more appealing to you when this conversation is about you, but you're not really interested? Like, that's,
Right. Right.
as an artist, that's my job. You know,
Yeah.
as an artist, that was Curtis Mayfield's job. That was Bill Withers' job. That was Gil Scott Heron's job. That was Marvin Gaye's job. Like that, as an artist, that's your job. You know, it's
Right.
nothing to talk to people who already know what type of time it is, but it's about getting to people who may not know, but this is
Right.
really what they need, you know? So it's about that happy medium and kind of meeting in the middle on that.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I think there's always a new generation of people who aren't with it yet, who should be
Yeah,
with it.
right.
And if you don't educate them
Yeah,
along the way, right,
yeah,
then they get lost in it thinking that there's nothing wrong or that they don't have a part to play in the fight, you know?
yeah. You can't blame people for not knowing. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like,
Right.
you know, I never made a pizza in my life. You can't blame me for not knowing how to make a pizza. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I never did it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but at the same time, like it's your job to show what it is. And really, I really tapped into a lot of my man. I was on such the energy of like a Curtis Mayfield and a Bill Withers on this album, just with the way I was writing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of the type of time I really, really, really was on this album. So I'm excited to get it out, man. It's done. I never took this long to complete an album, and I'm excited to get it out. It's completely done now, and I'm excited to press play for the people.
For sure, for sure. I can't wait to hear it, man. So
Thank you.
once you got a date and you got something, you know, I'm definitely forwarding it, sending it to anybody that's in the
Yeah,
network. So we
nah,
definitely gonna push
100%,
it.
100%.
All right. So I got a few more. I'm not gonna hold you too long, but I got a few more for you.
Okay.
So, you know, we all businessmen out here. So, I like to also invest. So I'm into stocks. I do a little real estate. My wife's, more in that area.
Yeah.
So as a business person, is that something that you do or into or looking
I'm
to do soon?
Yeah, I'm starting to get into the stock thing because it's the new hot shit on the street, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like everybody's in it. So I'm starting to get into it a little bit. I got a lot of friends who are heavy on it. First it was Forex last summer, you know what I mean? And
Mm. Yeah.
now it's the stock game. The stock game been here forever. So, I get it, you know what I mean? And I respect it for sure. I mean,
Mm.
generations have been built off of stock. It's funny how that whole thing happened where it had flipped it, the revolution
The-
became Reddit
yeah.
televised. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep. Yep.
they flipped it on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was real. That was dope to see. Sucks for the families that got hit, but that was real to see.
Yeah.
But I'm into it. I've definitely been able to invest in other things outside of stock. Like I have other businesses and things that I do, and other business ventures that I'm working on, and I'm working on
Hmm.
opening up, and things that my family and I are building. So it's definitely about spreading it out. It ain't about
Spread. Yeah.
everything being in one direction. It's about spreading it out. If you got a couple cars, so if this car break down, you got another car in the garage, you got a
Hmm.
car on the street parked in front of the house. Like you don't have to rely on like Uber or a ride from your homie. So that's
Right.
kind of a metaphor for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have, other things spread out, and even within the music, like, ghostwriting and film stuff that I'm working on, and just a
Mhm.
lot of different avenues, because in 2021, that's where we are. That's where
Right.
we are in 2021.
Absolutely. You create that safety net because you got diversification that we call it in the finance
Absolutely.
world. So you got, like you say, you got more than one car. So when this one ain't working, right, you get it worked on by the mechanic. This one's working
Right.
great. We're gonna drive
Cause
this, and then
yeah, because they don't give us
keep it
the
going.
same. They don't give us the same amount of chances. You
Yeah.
know, when you're a shade lighter, you get more chances. They don't give us the
Yeah.
same. You could, part of my friends, you could fuck up a bag and be all right.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like when you
Right.
them.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
do that. We don't have that liberty to fuck up a bag. It's like, oh, whoa, whoa. Like you can't, you know what I
Mm.
mean? You can't do that.
Yeah.
So,
You got the one strike rule. They get a couple of tries at that. You know what I'm
you know what I'm
saying?
saying? Oh, that was a foul, and that was a ball, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we get one strike, we'll get three. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
True. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me. Anything else you wanna tap into or let the people know about?
Man, shout to all the people in the chat. I see it all. I'm trying to engage in the conversation with you, but I see everybody shouting me out, showing all the love. Some of the people I know personally, like Billy Early, and of course Lyric and Eric, and my man Danny. Is a couple people here. Tori in here. I saw him earlier. It's a couple people in here. Tori's actually my family. So a couple people I saw in here. So shout to everybody here. And all the love, man. Shout to all the love, from the people. We do this for y'all. Sometimes people be like, yo, man, I'm such a fan, but I don't want to dick ride, da da da. And I'll be like, nah, man, like as artists, especially as independent artists, we
Hmm.
need that. You could feel like that. You shouldn't feel like that towards any artist, but you could feel like that towards Drake, who got 100 million
Yeah.
people running through him in the street. But like as an independent artist who is out building and building organically and kind of getting it out the mud, like people like to say, you know, we need that. A lot of times the
Yeah.
independent artists will be ready to throw in the towel, like, yo, man, I'm off this. I'm over this. You see lyrics,
Right.
she's like, yo, we need that. Yeah, like a lot of times the independent artists will be ready to throw in the towel because you're looking at somebody like a Drake or a Cardi or whatever, and you're like, yo, man, I thought this was gonna go one way and it didn't. It went the other way.
Hmm.
So a lot of times it'll be a random fan on the gram or on the street or whatever that's like, yo,
Yeah.
man, thank you. Thank you. We'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna get us another 10 years. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Right.
sometimes that's all it takes. So to the people listening, to the fans, I don't like to call them fans, I call them fam. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and to the people listening, yo, don't take it as dick riding. Like show that love, man. Like when I met that guy, I
Hmm.
gave him all the flowers. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, you it. You know what I mean? Like you it. When I met Wood Harris, who's my homie now, when I met him, I was like, yo, bro, you it. When I met
Hmm.
Idris Elba, yo, you it, bro. Like, get that up, man.
Right.
It don't make you a sucker. It don't make you sweet. It make you 100. It's like, nah, that's
Right.
real. You
Right.
show
Just
that
being
love. You know what I
genuine.
mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, if you trying to get something out of it, now you riding. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yo, I'm trying to da 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 da, and you doing it just to get an opportunity. That's a different situation. But if you showing genuine love, that's love, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. It's just really, to me, it's just being, I'm like I said, fam. I appreciate
Yeah,
that
hundred
sentiment
percent.
because I have no big following. And for me, it's just about, supporting the artists that I love because I know
Right.
there's like the Drakes of the world who got a million people, but there's someone who's working hard to make great music that needs a fan like me who's going to spread it. So if I know five people, I'm going to tell five people because I know they're going to like
Yeah,
this. If
and
they don't
and
already
who's
know, you know,
yeah, and who's gonna be in the history books? You know what I'm saying? The
yeah.
history books aren't just for the people who had every light bulb in the house on them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the
Right.
history books are for people who made history one way or another. You talk about
Hmm.
Black history, and people always say, as much as we love Martin Luther King and we're indebted to him, it was more than just Martin Luther King. So I
Oh
say
yeah.
that to say we love the guys at the top and the women at the top in hip hop and in music, but there's so many
Hmm.
other people that's on a different thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
for sure. The unsung heroes of the
yeah, it's a
process,
ton. It's a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
Word
Well,
up.
cool, man. Well, I'm gonna wish you well. Much health, continued health for your family,
Yeah.
success on your future projects and everything you got going on. And I'm gonna be listening and watching and purchasing. So, hope to hear
Appreciate it,
from you
man. Much
soon.
love. Much love on everything you got going on. I know you got multiple hats that you're juggling, so much love on all that. You know what I'm saying? And dope times, dope vibes with you and all that, man. And yeah, all the brilliant things coming soon, man. And we continue to build.
Perfect. I can't wait, man.
Word up. Peace and love, man. Shout to
All
everybody
right,
in here too. I see y'all. Trying to keep
all
up. I
right.
see y'all, but peace and love to all of y'all, man. Much love.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for joining us.